Marco Rubio just called out United Nations as well as anybody who does not want the war to end. Listen to this.
Do you know what the United Nations resolution was? I'll tell you if you want to hear what it was. It basically said this has been a horrible war. It's time for it to end. The job of the UN is to bring about peace in the world. I thought that's what the UN was created to do, to stop wars and to prevent them. And that's what the resolution did. Was it antagonistic towards the Russians? No. Back to the point. But it also didn't praise the Russians. All it said is, this is a bad war. It needs to end. And by the way, at the Security Council, which has not been widely reported, the first resolution on Ukraine that has passed the Security Council in 3 years, passed this week because of the leadership of President Trump, and it's a resolution that says, bad war needs to end, let's bring the two sides together. That's what the resolution is. Again, what is the United Nations for? Isn't it not a forum to promote peace in the world? And shouldn't we all be happy that we have a president who's trying to stop wars and prevent them instead of start them? And I just don't get it. I really don't, other than the fact that it's Donald J. Trump. If this was a Democrat that was doing this, everyone would be saying, well, he's on his way to the Nobel Peace Prize. This is absurd. We are trying to end a war. You cannot end a war unless both sides come to the table, starting with the Russians. And that is the point the president has made. And we have to do whatever we can to try to bring them to the table to see if it's even possible. I'm not promising you it's possible. I'm not telling you it's 90% likely. I'm saying it's 0% likely if we don't get them to a negotiating table. And the sooner everyone grows up around here and figures out that this is a bad war that's heading in a bad direction with death and destruction and all kinds of dangers surrounding it that could spiral into a broader conflict, the sooner people grow up and realize that, I think the more progress we're going to be able to make. But the president's crystal clear. He campaigned on it, and he's going to govern on it. And that is, he is going to be a president that tries to achieve peace, and he has been very clear this is a war that would have never happened had Donald Trump been in the White House, and it needs to end, and we're going to do everything we can to end it in an enduring and sustainable and fair way.
The most important thing right here is peace. Okay, so Zelensky has to come back, sign the rare earth deal, and that allows Americans to go into Ukraine to mine rare earth, and that sort of kind of secures the peace deal, in my opinion, because if you have a ceasefire without security, that's sort of kind of like a no-go area. However, if Americans are in Ukraine mining this rare earth, if anything happens to an American mining, maybe Russia does anything wild, that is going to be wild because Russia is basically telling the United States that we don't care about you. Okay, so you may think Putin is like, you know, the devil or wild, but he doesn't want smoke with Trump. So if Trump assigns people to go into Ukraine, Putin would not move past where he's supposed to move because he already took some ground and there's nothing they could do about it right now, in my opinion. I may be wrong because this is just my opinion. However, Zelensky has to take that deal so his people stop suffering and going through all of this turmoil. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know.